Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Get Inside Team Go 11. We are here in Barcelona and it's episode number 9.
So Philipp, speaking about Magny-Cours, our last race weekend we did in this year. Starting from Friday, the weather was wet all day. How is the Ducati under rain conditions?
I think it was interesting to ride in the rain because except for Barcelona test and also in most in the FP3 we didn't have so much rain this year, and it was good to make laps. That was important to understand how you ride a superbike in the rain. This was very important for us and give me a lot of information.
Speaking about riding on wet, does the rider face more or less the same conditions everywhere, or does the feeling changes track by track?
Normally yes, it depends the grip level of the asphalt, and normally it depends the temperatures. You can have rain with 5 degrees, you can have rain with 30 degrees in Indonesia, for example. So this depends a lot. Normally rain conditions can change from lap to lap, because if it stops raining the track dries up a little bit, it gets less wet. Sounds crazy, but it's like this. And if you have less water, normally the track you can ride faster, and with more water you have to be a little bit more careful. But sometimes there depends the track, depends if it's a little bit uphill, downhill, or the corner is banked where you have more water or less water. So you have to be careful, but if you do some laps and if you know the track well, normally you should be able to cope with these kind of conditions.
So, as we said, the Friday was not really useful in Magny-Cours because then Saturday and Sunday it was sunny and dry. The team had to prepare the bike setup just in FP3. Was it difficult to find a good balance with 30 minutes?
Yes, I was a little bit afraid because we had 2 dry laps on Friday, which were not really informative for the crew. So I was happy that we had a bike which was more or less already quite good for the dry conditions, and that we don't have to make so many changes from FP3 to the qualifying. I was happy that compared to most we were there more or less right away from the beginning. That helped us because if you don't know the track with a superbike before, it's very difficult. Especially Magny-Cours, I think was a hard track for a rookie.
In Superpole in Magny-Cours, you had your best result of the season so far, P10, just 0.3 to the pole. How do you explain this close gap compared to the other races, and what you miss to reach the pole?
To be honest, I expect not that the lap time would have been so close, because normally if you have not a lot of track time, the riders with more experience in superbike normally they should be a lot ahead, but maybe sometimes it's like this. Everyone pushed from the beginning. I had a good feeling. To be honest, I couldn't have gone any faster because the lap was quite good already, and I was surprised that it was only good enough for P10, because if you're 0.5, 0.4 behind the first, normally you're a little bit more in front, but I was happy with P10 anyway, so it was a good starting point for the race.
In race 1, you were in fight with the official bikes and more experienced riders in World SBK or overall in high level of racing. How do you feel fighting with them? What did you learn from it?
It was a good race because we had a good starting position and the start was solid, and then it was good to fight in the group. Of course I learned quite a lot again. Every race is something new and you learn, and I was happy that we could finish in P8, which was good, and I was able to fight in the group, and also the distance to the front runs was not a lot. It was a good race, and I hope that we can continue in this way.
In last lap, you overtook Lecona, but Locatelli overtook both of you for P7. Going backwards, would you like to change something facing the last lap, and can you describe that battle?
Yeah, it was a crazy battle because you could see that Lecona was a little bit struggling with his front tire, and he was quite slow in the last laps because of this problem, and I was so focused on him that I didn't realize that Locatelli was in a better position to overtake me. I was not in the right position to overtake Iker. So it all changed, and Locatelli overtook both of us. I overtook Iker, and okay, then this was the last lap. So, and you have only a limited amount of corners, and but it was a fun battle. But if you finish 8, you finish 8, because you cannot go back in time and change it.
Then race 2. What happened there? Did you expect more than the results you achieved?
A little bit. During the race, I thought, okay, I don't have the same feeling compared to the day before, especially with the front tire. After the race, I was happy because I thought I'm a lot further back from the winner. But in the end, it was not a bad race from the beginning. Only towards the end I had problems with the front feeling, and after the race we discovered that we had a little bit problem with the front pressure. So this can be that this the feeling was not perfect, but this is the reason. Okay, this is the reason why the feeling was not as good as in the race 1, and I think I wasn't in a good position, not as good as maybe in the race 1, but I think I could have finished a little bit closer to the other riders.
Magny-Cours was really famous for Adelaide turn, the turn 5. How did you approach it in the first laps when you are all in the battle and the space is really close?
Yeah, in this corner, of course everyone wants to go to the inside. Sometimes it's a good way, sometimes it's not the right idea. Sometimes it's like in Most, for example, everyone wants to go in the first chicane to the inside, so the outside space is free and you can brake quite late. And that was that was a thing I did in the first race, and it worked quite well. But in the second race, for example, on the straight I was in the perfect position, and then Iker overtook me on the other side, and then I was a little bit boxed in, so there I lost some places. If you plan it, for sure it goes the other way, the other direction. You can have 3 plans and nothing will work. So it's every race is different. You just have to see what happened in that corner and then you react. So that's it already. That was episode number 9 of Get Inside Team Go 11, and see you in the next one.